Suu Kyi has also said that Myanmar's government is committed to implementing the findings detailed in a report by the Rakhine Advisory Commission that's headed up by the former UN chief Kofi Annan. Now, that was released just a few hours before a group of Rohingya fighters attacked police posts back in August, attacks which led to the army crackdown and subsequent exodus of civilians. In it, the Commission warned of the increased risk of radicalisation if the state's major issues weren't resolved. The most pressing issue, according to the report, is citizenship. It recommended the government change the 1982 law that tied citizenship to ethnicity and which excluded the Rohingya, making most of them stateless and therefore unable to work. Now, local media report people in Rakhine oppose the Commission, saying its report is biased and weak. Now, before violence broke out in August, more than 1 million Rohingya Muslims lived in the state. They've been persecuted for decades and have called the area an open prison. Well, let's bring in the Rohingya activist and blogger Nay San Lwin, who's based in Europe. Nay San, thank you very much for joining us. Your reaction, first of all, to Aung San Suu Kyi's speech from this morning.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me here. She said all the community in Rakhine State had the healthcare and the education access, which is not true at all. Rohingya the government has imposed several restrictions on Rohingya since 1992. Since then, Rohingya people have no proper healthcare access, and also the Rohingya children cannot go to the university since 2012. And also they cannot join the professional institutions since 1992, like a medical institution and the engineering institution are not allowed for the Rohingya student. And also she said they have stopped the clearance operation on 5th September. The burning houses has recently stopped on 17th. So what she has said and what is really happening in the ground is completely different. So she should say something with the practical information.
Now, she did mention, of course, that everything that had happened in recent weeks and months was as a result of attacks by the Arkan Rohingya Salvation Army. What would be your comments to that particular group and just how powerful a group is that in Rakhine?
Yeah, since 1978, these Rohingya people are living in the open air prison. So there are many youth, they have no future, they cannot study, they cannot do the business, they cannot live for another country to find a better life. So they are locked there. So they decided to fight with the government by holding some weapon like, the knife, sword, and the machete. So they have fought with the government. This also happening in many other ethnic areas as well. In Myanmar, there are more than 100 ethnic groups. They are also fighting with the modernized weapon with the government. So this is not the big issue. The big issue is military has launched the counter-terrorism campaign instead of the counter-insurgency. So they have labeled all Rohingya men as the terrorists, and they have killed more than 4,000 since August 25. They have killed indiscriminately, men, women, elderly people, even the small baby were beheaded, burned alive, shot dead, the slaughter. And this forced at least more than 400,000 into Bangladesh. Those people, she mentioned that she doesn't know why these people are fleeing. Actually, those people living in the village, they got the short notice from the Burmese military. Either you live from the village or you die here. You will be killed. So those people are fleeing in fear of killing. So after they left, their houses were burned down.
And finally, then, Nay San Lwin, there was talk in the speech this morning of Rohingya being allowed to return if they passed a number of sort of verification checks. And Aung San Suu Kyi also said that there'd been no operations carried out in the area since September the 5th. What are you hearing from people in and around the border? And do you think that people will want to go back to villages in Myanmar?
They have nothing left. All the property were burned down. they have no document at all. Their document also were burned down inside the houses. So they have no document. They are going to verify all those. In this case, the government has to be honest, because since 1992, they have been carrying out this population census in every 6 months. They carried out till 2015. So the government has all the photo of every family, and also they have the copy of the household registration. So all those has to, all those copy must issue again when the people come back to the country. So simply they cannot ask the document from the people. The people will not have anything. And also they have to assure that their security and the safety and also humanitarian assets. They are saying something in the speech, but it never happened. Like she condemned the human rights violation. Last year also they have formed a commission led by the Vice President Mieswe. At the end, the commission said there is no human rights violation. So they are just trying to fool the world while the UN General Assembly is taking place in United Nations headquarters.
Okay, Nay San Lwin, I do appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us here on TRT World.